Hi, this is Joe DiMaio with FantasyPlayersEdge.com, here to recap Week 14 in the National Football League and to take a look ahead to Week 15 in fantasy football. Eli Manning outperformed Big Brother Peyton, tossing for 391 yards and 3 scores against the Eagles, although he did lose 2 fumbles, while Peyton survived the Broncos secondary, throwing for 220 yards and 4 scores. He was intercepted 3 times. Other notable performances were turned in by Matt Schaub and Drew Brees, while Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Palmer, Tom Brady, and David Garrard all underachieved. Vince Young had to leave yesterday's game with a pulled hamstring, but if he plays, he has a solid matchup this week against a soft Dolphins pass defense. Kyle Orton is also likely to have a big game as he faces a porous Raiders secondary, while Matt Castle will have an opportunity to succeed against a substandard Browns back line. Kurt Warner, Matt Schaub have great matchups. David Garrard, Alex Smith, and Matt Ryan should all be avoided this week, while Big Ben Roethlisberger has a tough task against the Green Bay Packers. Quentin Ganther had a terrific debut as Washington's running back one. He scored twice while amassing 93 yards. Reggie Bush found himself back in the spotlight, scoring twice out of the backfield on passes versus the Falcons, and finished with 79 total yards. Ray Rice, Chris Johnson, and Adrian Peterson were all extraordinary. Chris Jennings parlayed 20 carries into 73 yards and a score against the Steelers. He's likely to be Cleveland's feature back against the Chiefs and the Raiders over the next 2 weeks, with Jerome Harrison likely becoming his backup. Kevin Smith sustained a season-ending knee injury, but all Lion running backs should be avoided as they face the Cardinals and 49ers over the next 2 weeks. Julius Jones, Jamal Charles, and Lawrence Maroney have favorable matchups this week, as do Adrian Peterson, Steven Jackson, and Felix Jones as a flex play. Rashard Mendenhall, Matt Forte, and LaDainian Tomlinson are all facing tough run defenses, as are Ryan Grant and LaShawn McCoy. Brandon Marshall, Andre Johnson, and Deshaun Jackson had stellar days at wide receiver. Randy Moss had 16 yards and lost a fumble against the Panthers. Do you suppose he was teaching Belichick a lesson? In any event, Moss will have to be at the top of his game this week facing a tough Bills secondary. Dwayne Bowe returns from a 4-game suspension against the porous Browns secondary, but you'll have to check back to see if Bowe is practicing with the Chiefs' first-team offense. Kenny Britt and Jericho Cotchery have favorable matchups, while Roddy White will be stifled by Darrelle Revis. This is Joe DiMaio with FantasyPlayersEdge.com.